Okay, so for the next stage in the project, I can't do an awful lot more because I need to sort of tweak plumbing and electrical, and I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing yet, so I need to finalise locations of everything. Got a pretty good idea. I had a chat with the Shy T assistant, and we're pretty sure where we're going to put everything now. But I'm not happy to sort of board the ceiling yet, so I thought I may as well frame out this wall. So after a lot of dithering, what I've decided to do is I'm going to basically mount a piece of 3x2 CLS here, because unfortunately when I did all the underpinning there was a massive bulge in the wall where the concrete forced the formwork out and created a bulge, so it kicks everything out, and unfortunately that has a knock-on effect because I don't want to interfere or to come out too far from the wall for the doorway because it's quite narrow as it is. One piece of timber here, I'll fix it with just a couple of screws, probably 3 screws in total. That way it shouldn't affect the integrity of the blackjacking either, so minimal holes drilled in it, better. So then I can fix all the framework to this piece of timber instead of drilling multiple holes in the concrete, potentially causing an issue for damp. It's always worth trying to work smarter, easier said than done. Glasses, need my glasses. I can't see shit. Yeah, so I'm going to mark up the timbers together using a square, so I'm doing both at the same time. So 4, 8, 12, 16, 2 meters.
I think Robin Clowet never watches this video, so I'll be quite embarrassed. Love your channel, Robin.
At least this way it'll be accurate. Top rail to bottom rail. The next confusing part will be is one of the rails I'm going to have on the edge and one on the flat. So I need to make sure I don't get myself into a pickle. So the bottom rail I want it to be upright, and then this one I want to be facing that way, because I need to space this out from the wall at the top, but the bottom one, because obviously of the bulge in the foundation, I want it as thin as possible so it won't get in the way. So there we go. So next thing I'll do is I'll transfer those lines to the other face. So you can measure as many times as you like until you're blue in the face, but it never quite fits. It's just, yeah, obviously I tried to dry fit, but that bottom rail was too long, so I had to trim a tad off to get it to fit. And I think if I could have gone in at a different angle, I could have probably get it in, but I couldn't because the boiler was in the way. But here you go, look. I didn't allow for the bend in the pipe, so I'm going to have to take it out and just trim off that corner. But other than that, I'm reasonably happy. I could have probably done with a tad more slack there, I think. That one's drooping down ever so slightly. Yeah. I'll have to get the jigsaw out and trim that. But there you go. So I should be able to set that in place now with minimal fuss. That 3x2 CLS that I've put along the wall, that will give me a nice straight datum to work to, so I can fasten straight to that easily with just using wood screws, and then I can plumb up the verticals individually, and then that should be good at the top there as well. This wall will be a lot easier, but I might do the same sort of technique. Actually assemble the frame together and put it up as one thing. There you go. So when I come to do my plasterboard now, so I'll do a full sheet. There you go, 1200 dead centre. So then when one plasterboard finishes, the other one can start, and there's enough meat on that batten. Very blunt chisel, don't judge me. So if you're going with the grain, it's quite hard to cut, but it is very easy to split. Right. See if that fits. Perfect. That's kind of plumb there. Far out. That'll do. So it'll be quite easy now. I'll start there and then work my way out, making it plumb and vertical. There you go, happy with that. What I'll probably do is I'll probably tweak the plumbing, because I'm not particularly happy about having that joint right behind that timber there. But obviously I don't want to start getting involved in plumbing at this sort of stage. It's going to start really holding me up. But yeah, I'll Probably make sure I do that before I plasterboard. So I've not quite finished that wall yet. I've not finished putting all the screws in and plumbing up the verticals. But I'm going to skip that. I'm going to make a start on this wall because I want to use up the materials that I have. They're all outside. I want to try and use them up quickly so they don't get soaking wet. And I just need to clear as much space as possible. So the more materials I can use up, the more space I've got. And that's kind of at a premium at the moment. So let's crack on. I'm going to do a full rail at the bottom, and the top rail I shall stop short of the doorway. This will be for the base rail. 3.2. I'm going to leave it slightly short, and that way I'll be able to put the plasterboard in on this side right the way to the end. So wherever you can, you always try and make your life as easy as possible. So for marking out the top and bottom rails, I'll basically set them on trestles. I'd level them up at the end so they're flush. Now what I'll do is I'll clamp them together. There. Now I'll mark off four, 8, 12. So again, 400mm centres, 16, oh, right in the wrong spot, sod's law, 2 meters, 2.4, we'll see one at the end. So remember that's the centre line and not the edge. So I'm just using an offcut. Just eyeing up the centre of the offcut. Move my cramp. It's a speed square, it's much easier. traditional square. Dropped the pencil the other day, it's obviously snapped the lead. Yeah, I do like these speed squares. Which mark was it? Right, so I'll pre-drill these now, and that'll make it a lot easier to assemble it. There's been a huge gap in filming, so I'm not quite sure how the continuity of this is going to work out, so you'll have to bear with me. I do try my best. So, last time I was working down here, I managed to assemble this frame, put it together, and I just mounted it to the wall with a couple of screws. That's as far as I got. But it's pretty good for plumb and level. This one here, if I go against and touch the top of the frame that's going around the outside, is basically just kicked out slightly at the bottom. And I think what the problem is where this render's been applied, it kicks out. So all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to use my SDS drill and just chisel out a small section at the bottom. So it only needs to go in a few millimeters, and then that should be plumb. And then I can follow that whole line across. The other end is pretty good. I think I'm just going to put another screw in place, wedge it, and then I can fire a few more screws in and then start foaming it all. So I'll probably go on to time lapse for this next bit. I don't think it's going to really work on time lapse, so I'm going to do it in an ordinary video. So I've got to stop saying so. Why do I always say so? It's very annoying. So the first step, I mounted a piece of batten to this framework because I'm running this parallel to this one against the wall. So I fixed that to that. That's holding that set distance, which just gives me enough clearance along the whole length of the wall for all the bumps and what have you, except that one little tiny place in the corner, which I've chiseled away. That's gone back. That's absolutely fine now. So this one is plumb. There's a little bit of bow in this batten, so it's fixed at the bottom, it's fixed at the top, but by putting a screw in the middle I was then able to set that so that's plumb all the way up, and then I'll just use a little offcut of timber as a little wedge, and that will hold it from going in. So that's fixed quite firmly now. So the next step, once it's all fixed, plumb, level, call it what you may, I'll go around and I use the foam, and the foam works really well, so it holds it really, really securely. And obviously you can do it in multiple places very, very quickly and easily, whereas if you were trying to screw, glue and pack it out, you'd be there for forever and a day. So I literally just need to do it in a few places, foam it, and then that will be solid. That's what I've done upstairs, and downstairs it's worked really well so far. So it's still a little bit floaty in this corner, so I'm going to put another batten at the top, and then I'll do the same as I've done in the middle there. And obviously you need to start somewhere, otherwise you could just be forever chasing your tail, dealing with winky wonky walls. probably now switch to time lapse. Hopefully that should be sufficient. Actually, no, I'll put another batten up there. Hold that one there. Pays to be a tight bottom. And don't throw anything away. Keep everything. Little offcuts. Little steel brackets all come in handy. And they help you out of a hole. Better. That's got it. Got there in the end. And that can actually come out at the bottom a little tab more. Get fixing it at the bottom now. Nice. Sorry?
Want to give us a hand catching mango again?
Oh, God. Quick emergency. Just had to go and find Mango. The cat had escaped again. Panic over. read the instructions once, and in those instructions it said that spray foam adheres better to a wet surface. So I'm actually going to heed those instructions today and give it a bit of a spray with a water sprayer, and let's see if it works. I'm not going to go mad, and I've never had a problem with this stuff sticking before, but I guess at the very least it'll wash off the dust, so it's got to help. So that just about concludes this video. In the next video I'll probably be tackling a little bit of first fix electrical work, and I'll have to remove some of the dado trunking I've got going around that wall before I can tackle any of that. So there's a lot of tidying up I have to do. So I'll do the first fix electrical, put in the back boxes, and then hopefully I can start doing the plasterboarding soon. So stay tuned. No idea when that video will be available, but thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.